And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready for Game 3 of Wasted Potential versus Omega Gaming Ice. Here in the Upsurge Minor Leagues, we are ready now here into the Pro Draft as we see the Graves and the Varus bands coming out. But again, I am joined by Rude Dude on the casting desk. Welcome, Rude Dude.
Thank you very much. Do appear to be having a few technical mismatches with what the pro draft is going through right now. It doesn't appear that these guys are able to see the draft for whatever reason that may be. But we can talk you through it, and we'll give you a quick rundown when we get that fixed for you.
Absolutely. And a couple bands coming away through here for the side of Omega Gaming Ice. We see the Varus band away, the Zoe and the Aphelios. So some priority put towards the picks of that bottom lane for wasted potential. The Rakan coming in as the first pick, which would signal possibly the Zaya coming in as well. So be curious to see if Omega Gaming Ice will take the Zaya pick away from them here with their next two picks as this first pick phase does progress. They do opt for the Ezreal though, as it does get hovered here. It'll be interesting to see. Yep, there it is, locked in here for Omega Gaming Ice. So we will be seeing that pick coming through here, and we will see. I believe it is Waffle Wheel here on the Ezreal pick. So that getting taken away, and possibly support pick, jungle pick coming in for the second pick. It is the Trundle for the third game in a row. We will see Supermark on that Trundle pick. He's had decent performances on it so far throughout this series. He hasn't been the shining star of this composition, but he's been doing well on it. But the Yumi does get locked in instead, so we will see the Ezreal Yumi bot lane coming in for the side of Omega Gaming Ice here in this game number 3.
Yeah, Zumi's bot lane going to come out for Ice. Unfortunately, guys, I can't find the way of fixing it. So what we'll do instead is we'll just talk through the draft, and then we'll show you quickly the champions and everything when they've loaded it through in the client, and that'll be how we have to do that for you. But we can talk you through this now. Uh,
Zaya getting picked up for the side of Wasted Potential. Gonna be having that lovers duo bot lane for the, Conrad and Hemi here on Wasted Potential. We saw it in game 1. It was a very, very dominating pick for them. Clearly, there was some comfort on those champions. Zaya had some amazing, ability to be able to get up and away from those dangers. Going 18-0 in that game 1, so excited to see that as Olaf rounds out the picks and Trundle rounds out the picks for both sides here. Wasted Potential picking up the Olaf, so we will get to see Greyley on that pick. And Trundle, again, Supermark for his third game of this series, will take that pick as well.
yeah, super interesting Olaf pick here, and a nice soft counter, I'd say, to Olaf being picked in this Trundle, just because of Olaf being able to immune any form of CC. The one thing that he can't immune is terrain being built. So obviously, if you put the pillar up, creates a little bit more space for your carries if an Olaf is trying to run them down. But the bans coming through for both sides so far, we've got a Galio ban from Omega Gaming and a Victor ban, no surprise, from Wasted Potential.
Absolutely. We saw Schmurda B absolutely pop off on the Victor pick there in game 2, really putting the team on his back in that game number 2. But also, I mean, additionally, you have to hand it to Koro as well, having some great success there on the Kled pick. Really worked out well for them in the solo lanes there. And, as we see these bans continue to go, it is a Vel'Koz ban down there as the 5th ban coming in from Omega Gaming here. We've seen the ban come through in the previous games as well. So trying to deny Optics that comfort pick with the Vel'Koz, and Syndra rounding out the 5th and final ban for Wasted Potential, taking away another one of those control mages from Schmurda B.
Yeah, interesting ban coming out because if I'm not mistaken, both times that the Syndra has been picked, the team that's picked it has ended up losing. Um, Definitely doesn't take away from the fact that Syndra's a very strong champion and piloted correctly can definitely carry games. But just a little fun series stat that Syndra currently 0% win rate in this phase.
It does indeed, and Oriana does get picked up as the mid lane pick. We will see Shmurda be on one of those control mages here in game 3. So, picking that up here pretty early, saving the counter pick for Koro up there in the top lane. As Wasted Potential continues to look here, they do take the Ornn as the answer towards the top lane, which I think is an absolutely solid pick into almost any champion.
Yeah, on blind picks, something that we've seen very frequently, just because Ornn wins pretty much every matchup easily, with or without jungle presence. If he's 1 versus 1, fairly easy to hold his own. Definitely has a lot of potential to scale into the late game as well with the ornament item upgrades. Going to be able to upgrade each and every one of his team's items, one each. Definitely going to be looking for that molten edge on the Xayah to give even more oomph when she's throwing those feathers out. And finally, going to be a Rumble rounding out their team comp, looking probably to go in the mid lane here to match up against this Orianna.
And we do see the Mordekaiser getting picked up for Koro, a pick that can carry from the top lane and provide some great presence there in those fights. A lot of damage coming out with the passive and the obliterate. Smashing that mace into the ground will take that pick into the Ornn. So those picks getting finalized there. The ready checks coming in from the players on both teams as we'll get ready to go and jump into the in-client cast.
Yeah, so just going to quickly, they're going to run through the draft here. Obviously, they've done through it on Pro Draft, but this is just so that you guys can see what champions have been locked in. Just to run it back quickly for you, Wasted Potential have gone with Ornn, Olaf, Rumble, Xayah, Rakan, and then Omega Gaming Ice going for Mordekaiser, Trundle, Orianna, and the Zumi, Ezreal Yumi bot lane. They're just going to run through this quickly in client, and then we'll be able to throw it to a short break, bring you back the third and final game. Any other thoughts that you've got on this particular draft here from either Wasted Potential or Ice?
So I personally, I think, do prefer the team fighting potential from Wasted Potential here. They've got the Rakan with the grand entrance, able to get in there, also with the quickness to, kind of lock up multiple members. Ornn, obviously, with Call of the Forge God, able to come down and knock up multiple members, get engage or disengage off that ultimate. And then Rumble, of course, with the Equalizer, can provide some massive AoE damage here. And I think it's going to come down to the side of Omega Gaming Ice to get a huge shockwave off on this Orianna to be able to prevent that strong engage potential from Wasted Potential here. Obviously, Yumi as well is excellent at being able to engage or disengage with the Lost Chapter. I think maybe I prefer the team fighting of Wasted Potential if they do not get stonewalled by Omega Gaming Ice's ability to kind of disengage.
Yeah, definitely ease of execution for Wasted Potential. It is going to be pretty much pressure ultimates in a team fight, and you should be in an advantageous position. And it's going to definitely be on Ice to try and position themselves to not definitely all get all clumped up, get hit by that Ornhorn, and try and find gaps in the armor to try and pick up that big shockwave. Maybe try and pick up a nice Mordekaiser pass through with that E, pull a load of people in. But the Death Realm is going to be kind of pivotal this game because I believe that if you take Mordekaiser versus Ornn in an isolation, the Mordekaiser is probably supposed to win that because of how the ultimate interaction is, and that is that if Mordekaiser channels the Death Realm between the channels of Ornhorn, so if the Ornhorn calls the first part and then the Mordekaiser takes him to the Death Realm, the Ornn can't reactivate his ult to knock up, so definitely going to be looking to Korra to try and cancel out any of those Ornhorn engages.
Indeed, and I'll be looking for him to watch the cooldown of the Bellows Breath there, because Ornn can activate the Bellows Breath to be able to make himself unstoppable, which will prevent Mordekaiser from actually being able to take him into the Death Realm, which is an amazing cancellation effect and interaction between those two abilities. So it's really going to come down to the skill matchup between these two champions and which player is better on the day in this matchup. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the picks and the bans on your screen now. We will be moving on over into the intermission now. We'll put some silver screen scrapes there on the track for you to listen to as we gear up for Game 3 of this best of 3 series in the Uprising minor leagues between Wasted Potential and Omega Gaming Ice. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for that Game 3. We'll see you on the flip side of this intermission, and do not change that browser. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Summoner's Rift for this Upsurge Minor League competition best of 3 series between Omega, Ice, and uh, yep, I
Wasted
did that.
potential.
Yep, wasted potential. All right, ladies and gentlemen, word soup definitely coming out here for our broadcast, but sometimes that's how she goes. Players now lining up here onto the line of scrimmage as we get ready to get ourselves into game 3 for this best of 3 series. But again, joined by Rude Dude here on the casting desk. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Super excited to be here for this third and final game. Both games have been, I'd say, fairly one-sided so far. Neither of the games have looked like both teams could take it particularly. As soon as one team's got an advantage, they've pressed it hard, and it'll be interesting to see which side can get that early advantage and whether or not the other team can turn it back around this time.
Absolutely. And as we continue to go through this series, again, I really want to harp on the implications for the standings of this match. As we go here, OGI, right? They need to pull a win out here to keep themselves competitive with the top members of their division in the Upsurge minor league here. So it's going to be absolutely vital that they're able to take this game 3 for their playoff picture. Additionally, and on the other hand, wasted potential here. They want to be able to secure themselves a win here to bring their record back up to that 2-3 to have a potential towards the top side of the division standings. So both teams have something on the line for this matchup. And it's going to be interesting to see which team is going to be better on the day because we have seen two, very close games kind of going back and forth here in game 1 and game 2.
Yeah, obviously, as you mentioned, both teams fighting for something. Ice fighting to stay at the top. Wasted potential fighting to get their way in there. See nice passive proc from Koro early on, maybe fighting more.
Able to get a bit of damage there on the Ornn pretty early. Shmurda taking a lot of damage from the flamethrower there from Optics here. Able to trade a little bit of damage back there though. But overall, I mean, a lot of action, a lot of aggression from both of the solo lanes here pretty early, Rude Dude.
Yeah, and we see from both of the junglers right now, they both started on their bot side, did a full clear, and are looking on this top side to maybe get something done. Currently, Supermark is about a camp ahead of Grayley. He's got the extra farm on his red already. So we'll like to see if, once they've both reached this 20 CS, 16 CS mark, who's going to get priority of the crab. Top lane is pushing for Ice, so they're going to have top prio, and currently same situation in mid. So Shmurda and Koro doing the work that they need to get Supermark the advantage he needs to go in and take this crab.
Looking for a little bit of an invade, does pop the Scryer's Bloom, knows where Greyley is on the Olaf here. But again, I mean, every game we have seen Supermark on this Trundle put some pressure up towards the top side of the map. But here it is, Greyley waiting there in the Pixel Brush will get found out here. That's going to be first blood going on over to Shmurda as he gets the kill credit there for Trundle's hard work and effort here. Optics now having to run away, facing both members of OGI here. Will have to utilize the flash up and over the wall there to get himself to safety. But total overall advantage going on over to the side of OGI as they take control of the jungle.
Yeah, that's something that you really don't want to see, is your Olaf dying at level 3. He's a jungler that prides himself on being early game focused and maintaining the strength of an early game jungler. But if they fall early and you get behind, it's going to be super rough for him trying to keep himself in the game. Supermark gets the crab, looking to maybe get bot crab as well. Could be a fight down here as well.
Yep, and here it is. Greyley trying to clear out that Pixel Brush control ward. The Ice Pillar will come up and will stop him. He's still slow. That's going to be another kill going on over. Supermark takes a bite out of crime. Greyley does fall.
Yeah, it gets punished there for going for the bot crab when once again just didn't have the priority from his mid laner. Shmurda was able to move. Optics was not. Bot lane's not needed. Neither were in the position to come out. But just two versus ones essentially that have happened right now, and Greyley has paid the ultimate price for both of them. Didn't get any of the farm that he wanted and has had to cut his farming time down significantly because he's basically spent the last 2 minutes challenging crabs and dying for them.
A little bit of trading and skirmishing going on up here towards the top side of the map. The Obliterate still on cooldown. Will not be able to make it land. Reckless going to back away for that one. Gonna have to use the teleport most likely to come back to lane, but overall, Choro there trading effectively and nicely, able to get himself priority against this Ornn early, which is good.
Yeah, it's, as you mentioned, this is a very skill-heavy matchup, and looks like so far Cora's getting the better end of these trades. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they ding level 6 and the real outplays and the nitty-gritty comes out, and we can see the small interactions and see how they fare out, and see who gets the upper hand then. Bot laners do base. Waffle Wheel gets himself a tier and a cull, setting up a very farm-oriented attitude for himself, is what I'll say. Wants to keep himself busy.
Looking to scale up on that Ezreal pick as this game continues to go down. Ornn burning the teleport to go up towards the top side. Also to note, Coral burning his earlier. The equalizer, though, coming down from Optics does get the slow and the damage coming down, but the huge shockwave comes down to get some damage down onto Greylay there. Not going to burn down. Shmurda walks himself away with the phase rush activated there.
Yeah, just not enough damage for Optics to take down Shmurda there. Does pop the equalizer and pretty much puts a full combo down. Does have the ignite up. I wonder if that has just come up off of cooldown after a early fight, but that ignite would have been definitely making that potential kill a lot closer.
Indeed, and that early pressure will translate into a Mountain Dragon for the side of OGI as they pick themselves up the first neutral objective on the map here in Game 3. So utilizing that mid lane and bottom lane pressure that they've had for most of this game, to be able to secure themselves a neutral, good, well play from the side of OGI here in Game 3.
Yeah, and so far, game looking very OGI, or not very, but rather OGI favoured, and as I said before, the team that has started off in the lead has typically gone out and won it, and we'll be looking to see if Greylay, despite his big deficit, is going to be able to come back and do something for the team here. He tried to gank mid lane and the pressure was just absorbed by Shmurda. Didn't manage to help.
Absolutely here, though. There it is. Coral able to get the Death Realm onto Reckless here. Called Forge God will come in, but it's going to be a little too late for the side of Wasted Potential. That's going to be a kill going on over to Cora as we see some action towards the mid lane. Flash forward coming in from Supermark. Able to get the bite, but the kill credit will go on over to Shmurda here as he picks himself up a kill in the mid lane. Now 2-0-1 on the Orianna. Has that 150 gold bounty on his head, and pressure succumbs to the side for OGI in mid.
Yeah, once again, another lovely gank in this mid lane. Optics didn't have flash. Supermark knew he didn't have flash, was spared no time going in for the flash trump. Gets that little slow, which was just enough to ensure Shmurda was able to follow up with the ball. Gets the kill, 2-0-1 right now. Nice little CS lead, and he's also gone for a tier, so heavy scaling style for Omega Gaming Ice right here. But when you're this far ahead already, 2,000 gold at 8.5 minutes, you can afford to go for those tiers, especially when you're winning the lanes this handily.
Absolutely here. And Wasted Potential looking and making the call for the Rift Herald here. Optics, trying to occupy Shmurda time here in the mid wave. And Mordekaiser left to clear his wave up top. This should be an easy Rift Herald for Wasted Potential. So, going to be looking to utilize that Herald to get some of this early game gold that they have lost back. Ornn getting a nice little proc there, able to knock down one of the plates down on the bot side turret here. But trading some going down for the mid lane here. Optics has to be careful. Shockwave comes through in the equalizer as well. Both champions here. Ooh, the flash forward and then the flash return from Shmurda trying to avoid the axe here. The Lost Chapter getting called down towards the bot side. Waffle Wheel will pick up a kill on Reckless.
Yeah, fighting multiple fronts there. Mid lane, all summoners burned from Optics. Greylay burns the flash as well. Shmurda burns both of his flash and ghost. Ultimately, though, he does survive, does preserve the bounty, and doesn't fall. They do pop the Herald down mid just to get themselves a little bit of a cash injection back. Try and keep Rumble relevant in this lane. As we saw, Shmurda was probably going to be able to take that solo kill, but Optics made it very close. And with the little cash injection, going to be keeping that lane about as level as they can hope to do so.
Indeed it will, and Mordekaiser's just pretty much been able to free farm up here towards the top side of the map, but despite the early AD carry and support realm up towards the top side, right? Which did translate into that Rift Herald going on over to the side of Wasted Potential. But Mordekaiser really just absorbing pressure across the map very nicely, able to farm up in his lane, has the pressure against Reckless on the Ornn. So, looking for this Mordekaiser to try and push that advantage and push the priority that he has in his lane to affect things like these neutral objectives for the upcoming Dragon.
Yeah, it's something that Wasted Potential have done all 3 games, reached that 7.5-minute mark. Bot lane have based, they've gone up to the top side to try and secure the Herald as best that they can. But Wafflewheel dashed in there, doesn't find anything.
Getting some good trading, though, down onto Conrad there, as to be expected. Koro here, though, able to successfully kind of push the Ornn off. The barrage coming down from Ezreal will stop the recalls towards the bottom side of the map there. But overall, I mean, fairly advantageous map state, I'd say, for the side of OGI, as Greylay's looking towards the top side for the gank here. Mordekaiser has the ultimate available. Will be looking to use that, I'm sure. And there it is. Pulls Ornn off into the Death Realm as the Ornn Horn comes out, gets knocked up. Can he take him out in time? Obliterate does land, flash forward to be able to secure himself the kill. Reckless does fall. Koro now has the stats, now has the ability, has the power. Olaf is in some danger here. One more hammer should do it, and there it is. The mace comes down. Double kill going on over for Koro up here in the top side of the map, able to show them what's what.
Mid lane.
Shockwave from Orianna.
And that's just a
dude.
solo kill.
Whew.
I'll give you a little bit of a break right there after a big 2 versus 1 and a solo kill from Schmurder. And this is looking more and more Ice favoured. They get 4,000 gold lead right now. The fact that Koro is able to not just absorb the pressure from the top lane, but turn that into 2 kills for himself, turns it into a Cloud Drake for his team with Supermark going down bot lane. And this game is looking more and more difficult the more it plays out for Wasted Potential right now.
It is indeed. And, to go back to that previous point that you made, right? Being this far ahead with a team that wants to scale towards the late game makes it really, really hard for Wasted Potential to be able to get something going here. A little bit of trading up the top lane here. But, overall, Wasted Potential, they still do have the late game insurance of the Ornn with the upgrade items that will be available, but he's already 2 levels down here, and the solo laners are low. Ooh, the Shockwave, though, coming from Orianna. Man, you gotta hand it to Shmur to be here. Really just getting the better of Optics in these trades, in these fights. And, Optics, I think, maybe being a little too excited to take a fight there in the mid lane.
Yeah, a little bit disrespectful of Orianna and her cooldowns. Obviously, had pretty much just died to her in the mid lane too, the Shockwave, but with the 20% CDR that she's got with the Archangel staff and maybe even running Transcendence in the runes, I don't know. But she could be sat at 30%, making the Shockwave very short cooldown. Does manage to find another solo kill. Takes herself to 4-0-1 right now. 30 CS lead in the mid lane. Not to mention the 3 plates that she's got as well, going to be surmounting to another kill and a half's worth of gold. Turret plates falling in about 30 seconds. Going to look for another one. Turret plate. Shockwave again, though.
It is. Shockwave again to come through. Supermark's there to be able to get the slow down. That's another kill going on over to Shmur to be. It is domination in the mid lane here for the side of OGI. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you have never seen a dominating early game before, well, you're seeing it right now. Because in every single lane, OGI has a gold advantage. They've got bounties on both of their solo laners and the AD carry. And they've got this late game scaling composition that is ready to bust open this mid to late game.
Yeah, even in the bot lane where there's not particularly been too much action, Ezreal's got himself a nice 1,000 gold lead just off of the CS, the turrets, and also the kill he was able to pick up.
But there it is, up towards the top side of the map, having to flash the forward out. Realm of Death Realm coming out here. Koro's able to get the Obliterate to smack down Ornn here for another kill. Just absolutely getting punished. Another Shockwave here in the mid lane. The Equalizer will not land, and that's going to be a kill going on over to Shmur to be, as he is dominating with a 6-0-1 scoreline at 14.5 minutes.
Yeah, Optics has the Ignite, has his ultimate, but at the end of the day, when you're 3 levels down, it's the situation that he's in at the minute. 3 levels is so much gold in stats just from leveling up that Shmurda B, even at 40% HP, felt more than comfortable taking it. He's used his Shockwave 3 times before basing right now. He's just gone back and he's gone for another needless, or not another, but a needlessly large rod. We saw it in game 2 where he was feeling confident and he decided he wanted to go Rabadon's second big item. He's probably going to go for it again this game. That or a Spellbinder. Either way, big ticket AP items coming in soon for Shmurda B right now.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have the FF coming in from the side of Wasted Potential there. 15-minute game going on over in favor of OGI. 0 deaths, 0 towers taken. The only concession was an early game Rift Herald. And in dominating fashion in game 3, OGI wraps this one up and they will take themselves a win in week 5.
Yeah, 7,500 gold lead. They were ahead at that point, 15 minutes into the game. They take that game, and as we've said throughout this series, whoever gets that early lead snowballs it and takes it to a victory. They've done it this game. They got early picks in the top lane and the mid lane with a 2 versus 2 around the river. They turn that into an advantage. Mid lane just absolutely snowballs out of control, and it's just a dominant performance from Shmurda and the top side Koros and Supermark helping each other out no end, and they do get that victory. It takes them to 4-0 now in the overall UML standings, which is where they wanted to be. They wanted to keep their unbeaten streak there so that they could keep challenging at the top of their table.
Indeed, here, and their overall win-loss record now at 8-2. Again, as you said, winning all of their best of 3 series in the Surge minor leagues here. So congratulations to OGI on the victory here, and GG well played for Wasted Potential here. But I think that just about wraps up these games. We will be moving on over into possibly some interviews here with the OGI members. So as we get ready for ourselves to jump into an intermission, as we get everything prepared for you on the back end, ladies and gentlemen, please stay right there in the Twitch chat. We will see you on the flip side, and get ready for these interviews with the members of OGI. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stream here. Again, in the Upsurge Minor Leagues Week 5, we have just witnessed Omega Gaming Ice take back a victory here versus Wasted Potential. We are joined here now by Waffle Wheel, the AD carry from OGI. Welcome, Waffle Wheel.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And, as we saw there in that game one, falling to the early loss there, can you just kind of run me through what it was like for your team coming off of that loss and what the mental was and the conversation having between your members?
Uh, yeah, it was rough for us coming out of that game because a lot of things went wrong, a lot of stupid things happened, and there were a lot of fights where it was like if we just didn't mess up early game, we win this really hard. If we were on even footing, we win this really hard. We played our hearts out, but we didn't get any return for it. So coming out of the game, we talked about what happened, and we talked about power spikes, and when should we do what, and fixing up comms. And after we did all that kind of stuff, uh, we just had a better, easier draft because we were on a different side, and we just showed the enemy team what it was like to actually be a team.
Well, there we go. A little bit of smack talk never hurt anybody's feelings, or, so we would hope. But again, congratulations to you and your squad. Being able to pull out this victory in week 5 now puts you guys at a total win-loss record overall of 4-0. And in those best of 3 breakdowns, I believe puts you guys at a win-loss record of 8-2. So congratulations to you guys. And as we continue to follow Omega Gaming Ice through the UML, I'm very excited to see more from you.
Thank you. I'll do my best to get a pentakill sometimes.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, we will wrap up our interview here and we will wrap up our broadcast on the Omega Esports League gaming channel here. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all out there for your viewership and giving these players a platform to be able to showcase their talents. Again, we will be seeing Omega Gaming Ice as we continue to follow them through. And congratulations to all the players. Shout out to the Upsurge Esports League for the raid. Shout out to Focus for the raid earlier as well. Your viewership is very much appreciated. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined on the desk by a Rude Dude for the color casting. I want to thank him as well. And I also want to thank the Omega Esports manager, Ivar, for giving us this casting opportunity. But with that being said, ladies and gents, we will be closing out the broadcast here. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful night.